Welcome to the Half-Blood Report.
Here we dive deep into recent demigod news, upcoming Presents books, questions only Zeus knows the answer to, and all other things Riordan. I'm Samuel, your co-host.
And I'm Diego, your other co-host.
So let's jump into the demigod news.
So topics of discussion. We got a new article on Rick Riordan. Want to talk about that?
Yeah, so first off, they announced a cool thing that Rick Riordan will be doing for the rest of February. They called it Tyrants Tuesday, because Tyrant and Tuesday both start with a T.
I think. I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Anyways, Tyrants Tuesday. Basically, every Tuesday in February, they'll be highlighting a different character from the Tyrants Tomb that hasn't been highlighted yet. So I think that basically means, well, first off, this week, the Eurynomos, I hope I said that right, that's kind of like the zombie creature from the Tyrants Tomb. We got a short little description and, of course, that nice art that we all love from Rick Riordan. It's what they're good at, art. Except they never credit their artists.
Yeah, I wonder who is it?
Yeah, if you do the art for Rick Riordan, not only, A, you do such a good job, B, you're welcome to come on the podcast anytime, C, aren't you mad that you don't get any credit? Anyways, so, yeah, those were those little zombie creatures that, like, basically almost killed Apollo in Tyrant's Tomb.
But, I mean, everybody's almost killed Apollo by now.
Well, I think more things are almost going to try to kill him in the next book.
Yeah.
Anyways, I didn't imagine like this. I imagined him to have, like, feathers for some reason. I thought they would be, like, humanoid vultures. I thought they looked like, have you seen the Jungle Book, like, the original?
Ooh, which one? Oh, with the dancing happy vultures?
Yeah, I thought it looked like that, except more zombie-ish.
Huh. I guess.
I don't know. I feel like it says vulturous at some point, probably because it was describing how, like, they eat flesh and stuff. I think it said that word, and that just kind of stuck with me. And then when I saw the art, I'm like, that's some great art. Why no wings? But yeah, it looks really nice, and it's nice to sort of see what the character looked like in the book, and especially compare it to what I imagined it as.
Yeah, I think that it's always cool to, like, have your own imagination, and I think, like, character art kind of takes away from that, but I also find it really cool to, like, compare what was in my imagination to what the artist or author was thinking.
Yeah. One thing I am sort of disappointed about Tyrants Tuesday is they picked February to do it. Not a good month for us because
yeah.
I think so. First off, next week you guys will be hearing. Super excited to announce this. An awesome interview with Stephanie Leary, who is the editorial director for Rick Riordan Presents. She edits, like, every Rick Riordan Presents book, works on all those. We heard so much great things about her from Carlos, Kwame Mambalia, and Rebecca Roanhorse. We're like, hey, do you want to do an interview with us? And
she was like, sounds great. So
yeah, we're actually doing
we'll be recording tomorrow, but when you hear it, it'll be
a whole week later.
Yeah.
Which means that we'll have to skip a Tyrants Tuesday. And then, Diego, you want to tell them about Boskone?
So basically, we got invited to be a panelist at the Boskone Festival, which, if you guys don't know, is the longest running science fiction convention in New England. I'll be showing up there, and
you'll be on a panel.
I'll be on a panel talking with Kwame Mbalia and Carlos Hernandez, Eric Wilkerson, who does the art for Kwame, and another author.
Yeah.
Who I forget.
There's another author who will be moderating the panel.
The panel.
Not Riordan related.
But we'll be there, and
I won't be there. Diego
will. He won't be there, but I will be there. And I'll be, like, doing interviews. And I think I'd be happy to do some, like, live Q&A with some fans if you guys show up.
Yeah, and so we'll be putting together a whole Boskone episode for that. And if we have any fans in Massachusetts,
Feel free to stop on by.
yeah, then that's 14th for the 16th.
Pretty sure. Yeah. I will be there Saturday. I'm not sure about Sunday, but I'll definitely be there Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday is the Rick Riordan Presents panel. So yeah, make sure to like check it out because it'll be fun. You'll get to hear from great Rick Riordan Presents authors. You'll get to meet Diego in person.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm not as exciting in person.
Oh, don't say that about yourself.
No, I'm the coolest person ever. What are you saying, Samuel? Moving on.
I guess the next piece of news is less Riordan related. You want to talk about Diego?
Yeah. So then, a bunch of Disney books just got bought out by HBG, which if you guys don't know, I not actually sure what that stands for.
It's a book company.
Yeah. But basically they're a branch of like children's books. Just bought out over 1,000 titles from Disney. Thankfully, we still get to keep Rick Riordan and the entire like Riordan imprint. So no changes with that. But it's kind of like a big move, and it's I'm sure shaking up the Disney offices in some way.
I don't like depending on your opinion of Disney, that could be a good thing or a bad thing that Rick Riordan is staying with Disney. One thing I think about interesting is that means that Disney is losing a lot of their book titles, which like a lot of their things that like they advertise are kind of like lost, and so that kind of makes that Disney like their main two players now are kind of Star Wars and Rick Riordan Presents. So like no, but like the fact is that so many titles have been bought away from Disney just means that Rick Riordan Presents is going to be more heavily advertised and more heavily.
Which is great if we want that PJO TV show.
True.
So yeah, they'll be forced to pay more attention to Rick. And I'm not sure if you guys have known, but he's been doing a lot of meetings with Disney lately, and basically like trying to get us a PJO TV show.
Anyways, let's move on to our next section.
Riordan Review. Name's pretty self-explanatory. In this section, we review either a recent Riordan book or a reread.
Yeah, and today's Riordan review is Race to the Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse, the latest Rick Riordan Presents book. Race to the Sun is based off the Navajo story of the hero twins.
Yeah.
So, Diego, you've read Race to the Sun. You read it in a day. So,
yeah.
But non-spoiler review, Diego.
Well, I loved both of the characters. Well, one of them a little bit less than the other, but I love like Nizoni's personality and everything. She just seemed like a really good person. Unlike Arusha. Yeah. Sorry, no. Arusha's amazing too. But she was a great character and I really liked her. And then Davery was also just like a super cool person. Like I don't know, he seemed pretty nerdy, but he was also like pretty like chill. So those two kind of like went against each other. But Rebecca Roanhorse made it work.
Yeah, to add on to that, I have to say, like, I think this book, out of, like, the Rick Riordan Presents imprint, is one of, like, so I think all the Rick Riordan Presents book have their talent when it comes to retaining certain aspects of Percy Jackson. And, like, I think Arusha is really good at keeping that humor of, like, taking the gods and putting them in modern day. Like, I think Arusha does a really good job at that. I think, like Stormrunner does, like, a really good job, like, taking aspects from the myths and, like breaking them down for you. And Tristan Strong as well. But I think that something that Race to the Sun did really well is just characters. I think the characters in Race to the Sun were really lively, really thought through. And I feel like I could almost know what the characters were going to say or what they were going to do before they did it. And I mean that in the best way possible. They were just greatly wrote, and I like it wasn't like, oh, this character has a vague personality where they do this. And you don't see that a lot in books, but like it I'm just saying, like, it was the opposite of that. It was like, oh, I get to know this character. This character has some slight anger management issues. This character is like pretty artsy. This character is like super kind. And I think that was really, really good. And it also added like more. So when you finally got to the battle scenes or like certain scenes where Nizoni does certain things, not to spoil, but it kind of helps you like understand the character's thought process and decisions and the way they do certain things in battle. And so I think that was like a really good aspect, just laying the groundwork in the first early chapters of the characters. Another thing about the book is I think that it's really good with just getting straight to the action, right?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Like what I remember. I read it.
You read it like weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. No, but
I think
it seemed like there were very little breaks. It seemed like it was like the guy came to her house. She slept. She woke up. She got the weird message in the apple.
No spoilers.
Her,
no
right?
spoilers.
Oh, sorry. My bad. No, but like basically it happened all so fast. Like I didn't feel like I don't know if it was a good thing or like at first I thought it was a bad thing. But then I realized it might have been a good thing, but like I feel like it was like super just like not necessarily action packed, but I feel like it was all going like very fast. Like a lot of things happened in a very like in a large amount of pages, but in what felt like a short amount of time. It all seemed like really like to like flow really well. Like I feel like all the details like I kind of absorbed, and it was like at some point it was more like watching a movie in my head as opposed to like reading through it. It was just going like so fast through the pages.
Yeah, I think that's what like a lot of books do. They try to lay the groundwork. First, they have to introduce you to characters. Then they have to do world building. Then they have to like develop the characters. And that's they like authors will try to do that like before the adventure even starts. Like the Lightning Thief, like the quest starts. Like Percy decides to go on a quest like halfway into the book, and there's just so much groundwork. And not a bad thing. Love the Lightning Thief, but I think that's something
We all do.
That's why we're doing a Percy Jackson podcast. No, but I think that's something that Race's Son does really well. In the opposite is that the groundwork is laid while like you're getting the same world building and like the characterization and like starting the quest straight off. And I think Rebecca Roanhorse does a good way of juggling it so that you jump right into the story, but you're still getting that setup and groundwork that you would get in a regular book where it takes more time to get you to the story.
Yeah. No, I agree with you a lot. Yeah, I feel like as if like it was just like I don't know how many different ways I can express it, but I just felt like it was really like seamless, and it was a writing style that I quite enjoyed. However, the ending left me wanting more.
Yes, that is especially since this isn't like we've already been told that there's like no sequel in the works. It's okay. I think it's time to go to
the spoiler section. So,
Yeah.
listeners, we'll drop it in the description where you need to fast forward to skip the spoilers. But spoiler alert!
Yeah.
It's starting now. We should get a theme song for that.
Oh yeah, like a theme every time.
Yeah, like
spoilers.
a theme. It'll just go like spoiler.
There's our theme right there.
Spoiler.
I mean, you made our actual podcast theme music.
Yeah, I know.
You can.
I'm just like a brilliant composer.
It'll be great.
Definitely cooking up a spoiler theme. It's in the works. Y'all heard it. Spoiler theme coming.
Yeah. So, ending. Disappointing, especially since we don't know like a sequel. It was kind of not what I anticipated. I wanted to know more. I wanted to see the character go. I wanted to see Nizoni go back to her ordinary life at school, and I wanted to see like Davery and Nizoni like just say, "Oh, okay, this is what school is like." I wanted Mac to like get back at the bully. Even though did the bully die?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened with
I
him.
think that was a lingering question that definitely needed to
Yeah,
be.
like my guy shapeshifted into him, and then
I think Nozomi even says, I was okay with him getting at like the bully, but Mac was bad. I'm like, no. He still killed a kid.
still a murderer.
He still might have like
He brutally assassinated
he may have been
12-year-old boy.
He may have been slightly homophobic. He may have been a bully. He may have been not the nicest person, but he was a kid who may or may not have gotten eaten by a monster.
He just showed up and just ate him.
And it
His
wasn't.
mouth just expanded and swallowed the
Also,
little dumpling.
it doesn't even make any sense. Like, wouldn't like he want to recruit the bully? Like
Yeah.
I feel like the bully, it's one of the main people who like hurts Mac. Wouldn't you? Cuddlebush, I think that's the bully's last name.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want like Cuddlebush on your side to like attack?
Yeah, instead of swallowing him.
Yeah, that was like, he's the one person who would go on a train with you across the country to like hunt down Mac, and you ate him.
How, as an 11-year-old, do you do that? Like, go across the country on a crazy adventure to hunt down shape-shifting, like, fat kid assassinating monsters.
See, Diego, I don't think you were paying attention. Davery had his brother's credit card.
Oh, with your brother's credit card, you could do anything, man.
Basically.
Okay. So, listeners of the podcast, you know what you should do right now. Find the nearest credit card to you, swipe it, and go.
I think you need to like make sure that there are monsters hunting you down before you do that. That's
Yeah.
that's like an extreme worst case scenario.
Yeah. Probably best to make sure that's the case. But if you see
Do not steal. Stealing bad. We at the Half-Blood Report do not support stealing. Do not sue us or send us to jail. That's your PSA.
No, if you see any men in like big suits eating little children,
If you see people eating little children, it might be best to like get out.
yup, it's probably a good idea to move far, far away. Identify the root cause of the child eating and move slowly in the opposite direction.
I think we're finding literal children murder too funny.
You just
Cuddlebush was a jerk.
You just see Cuddlebush in the corner getting eaten.
Okay, Diego, who was your favorite character? There's one right answer.
What do you mean?
I said it. One right answer.
Shoot, man. Davery.
Correct.
Davery's my favorite character.
Davery's a boss. Davery's so nice.
He's such a like nice, smart, and like cool
He's
person.
such a like healthy friend. Yeah, so Davery's a great pick for favorite character, but Mr. Yazzie, man.
Yeah, Mr. Yazzy's pretty fire.
I was like actually scared. I'm like, there was like, before Mr. Yazzie shows up on the trail, it's like obviously a monster. I was like, is Mr. Yazzie gonna like betray them?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, I thought it was so weird that they were just completely ignoring that line from the prophecy. Like, the line from the prophecy was like, the lizard man will betray you, and they're literally walking around with the lizard man. I was like, is any of them gonna address the fact that this man is a traitor?
No, they did address it, and they were just like, I don't think we could really like figure it out. So like, no, they were like, yo, Mr. Yazzie's a horned toad. Yeah, I know. What should we do? I don't know. It's probably like we probably like just shouldn't do anything because it might just mess up more. You know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I bet like we have no idea what the line means, and so we should probably just like keep doing what we're doing because we haven't died yet. So, in the end, Mr. Yazzie didn't betray them, but still, like, take precautions.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, bring your horned toad repellent.
Or just
or
like
a good knife. Either or.
maybe Mac should have just like yeeted him and kept on to the what was he supposed to bring? Like apparel, an emerald.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, whatever he was supposed to keep, he should have kept it and just yeeted Mr. Yazzie. Because Mr. Yazzie was going to betray them.
Yeah, he was going to stab him in the back.
But I think like the way prophecies work, like it ends up happening anyway. So I feel if they did try to yeet Mr. Yazzie, it would actually lead him to actually betraying them and not like a monster pretending to be him.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I thought it was really funny. There was a moment that reminded me of Tristan Strong in there. Like, you know how in all of Tristan Strong, Gum Baby is just like abusing Tristan and like hanging in his hood. Well, there's like a moment in this book where
I think you tweeted that out a couple weeks ago. Yeah. I do not know why that. I'm retweeting this right now at the moment, listeners. Listeners, as you cannot hear right now or cannot see right now, I am retweeting that tweet. But basically, I think the tweet goes.
Yeah, so I think it's really funny because Mr. Yazzie just like, can I please sit in your hood? And Nizoni's like, sure. And I lift it up to his new favorite spot. And then Gum Baby just abuses Tristan and just like takes his hood and then calls him a bumbly steed who needs to take a shower.
And that is exactly why Tristan Strong and Race to the Sun are different.
Anyways,
continuing on.
Final thoughts about Race to the Sun.
Nothing really, man.
Final thought is that it may take 1 year. It may take 5 years. It may take a decade or two. But I will wait, and I will wait patiently for the Race to the Sun spin-off or sequel.
That's pretty good. Also, another takeaway. Be wary of scary men who eat children.
That's always a good idea.
Always a good idea.
If someone eats children, you probably want to stay away from it. Even if you aren't a child, it's still a good idea to avoid the person who eats
probably
children.
Good. If you see anybody being murdered and then shapeshifted into, best to do something about it.
If you see something, say something.
Exactly, as the MTA gladly likes to remind us, as it negates its duties as a public service. The MTA sucks.
Says Diego, having had to take an hour to get here today.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So I think,
all right.
Oh yeah, Race to the Sun. Good link in the description to get it and stuff, and
pre-order it.
Fun book.
Yeah, great book. And just use.
We're so enthusiastic.
Use the link in the description to pre-order it, and it'll give us a little something.
Pre-order.
Man, last time I said the word Race to the Sun was when it was a pre-order.
That's not true. We've literally recorded 2 episodes where it was already out and we mentioned it. Okay,
well, make sure to order Race to the Sun with the link in the description, and it'll give us a little something.
Okay.
It's time to Odin and Athena. So, as we've said in this section, we propose a question related to Riordan to contemplate. And what's this week's question, Samuel?
So, we just wrapped up Percy Jackson and Olympians with #Demigodathon. And I was wondering, Diego, let's rate them in our order.
Oh.
All right, starting with least favorite. Diego, what's your least favorite?
Least favorite, Titan's Curse.
Battle of the Labyrinth. Reason?
Actually, I might go with you. Well, I just feel Battle of the Labyrinth.
All right, yeah.
No, I was thinking Titan's Curse because, I feel like there's a really, not good plot line. The tree kind of just gets poisoned, and then Clarice goes on a quest, and it's
That's monsters. You failure.
Oh, did I say Titan's Curse?
Yeah, you said
No, Titan's Curse is my favorite. Oh, my bad. No, I meant Sea of Monsters.
It's late.
It's late. I'm tired. But no. We'll cut that so it makes me sound smarter. Sam. No. No, yeah, I at first thought it was the Sea of Monsters, because the tree kind of just gets poisoned. It's like, what? And then Clarice goes on a quest, and it's just really, like, odd. And it's a very fast switch from the first to the second book, I feel. But now that you mention it, the Battle of the Labyrinth was kind of, it's kind of really packed with a lot, and I feel as it maybe what did not deal with the characters as well, and didn't give them their true what they deserved. It kind of just like made Tyson just like really bad, which wasn't necessary. The only reason why I would think the Battle of the Labyrinth might be a little better is because we get a lot of Nico moments, and you know me, I love Nico.
Yeah, Battle of the Labyrinth is definitely like it hurts me because I love all the books to say that Battle of the Labyrinth is my least favorite. Such great Nico moments, such great Rachel moments. Like and Grover, like it's just great to see Grover, Tyson, Percy, and Annabeth traveling together, and then like later, like I think Percy, Annabeth, Rachel, and Nico, that was also a really good group, except Annabeth and Rachel being kind of petty to each other. But overall, I think I think it's just my least favorite because traveling through the labyrinth isn't really my favorite. Because
Yeah, it was just really
we don't get
uneventful, I feel.
because the whole point of Percy Jackson is to like have like these myths in the modern day, and you don't get a lot of that in Battle of the Labyrinth. Like, there's no like, oh, we're fighting at this famous monument. There's no like, oh my gosh,
Alcatraz. Alcatraz is the closest you get, I think.
yeah, Alcatraz. But like again, that's not like a really important historical site, and it's also not like, it's also just like a one-off thing. And so I think it's kind of like, it's not like, oh yeah, like this historical figure was like a demigod. It's like, oh yeah, all this like, like it also doesn't have like the road trip feel to it that I love about the quest adventures.
Yeah. That as well. And now that you bring it up, I feel like a lot of the time is just spent in the labyrinth with just like Rachel and Annabeth kind of harassing each other, and a lot of the book is spent sleeping.
Yes, as you get later into the series, the dream sequences. There were Radio Camp Affluent is actually talking about this, how the dream sequences just have so much exposition, because like with the Percy Jackson format, you can't just switch to another perspective. Like, there's no place to do, oh, let's have a perspective from Rachel, let's have a perspective from Nico. No, you have to have all the exposition from like a massive dream sequence that takes a whole chapter for Percy.
Yeah.
And I think Battle of Labyrinth is where that
In the
starts.
Heroes of Olympus, it kind of gets fixed where you get a little bit from each character's perspective, but definitely for the Percy Jackson and the Olympians. The original series, it's a lot harder to switch perspectives.
Yeah, and so I think Battle of Labyrinth is when that sort of dream sequency starts to climb. All right, Diego, second least favorite.
Second least favorite. I'm gonna have to go with Sea of Monsters.
All right, why?
As I said before, mistakenly speaking about the Titans Curse, I just feel as if it had a really rough start from 1 to 2. I feel like we kind of just appeared in like a new school with Tyson with Tyson as a character, and I feel like we didn't really get like much transition. I feel like it would have been a bit cooler if we'd gotten more like before just jumping into the school. And then I think like the actual book, it is I think one of the ones that has like the most actual like mythology in the real world in it. It incorporates like a lot of like mythological things, like the different islands that they visit, different destinations. It follows a lot of like the big plot points and major plot points in the Odyssey, which I feel like is important. But then again, it's just I don't like the fact that it's split between so many like plot lines, that it's like Grover, Clarice, and then Tyson disappears halfway through, and a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. I have my thoughts on that, but I'll talk about them when I place Sea Monsters. But I'm now doing my second least favorite, Last Olympian. Cause again, like this is where the dream sequences are just like crazy. And they're not really. There's a lot of action here. It's super fun, and this is where it's like kind of hard for me to make the decisions because I love The Last Olympian so much. Like I think the whole Battle of Manhattan is freaking amazing. Like I'm from New York City. Like reading about like a battle for Manhattan is like one of the coolest things. Except they kind of just like let monsters invade Queens, which is kind of that cool.
Yeah.
So I would be dead. Monsters would eat me.
I got it. I got that one. That was funny.
But
yeah, creepy monsters dressed up in suits would definitely eat Samuel for breakfast.
except the monsters in Last Olympian aren't dressed up in suits, except from like Prometheus. But yeah, and I think we talked about this last week, but the Rachel storyline, it's one of the major storylines of the book, and it's also not the most interesting at all.
On a reread.
Yeah. And so that's why it's like not my favorite. Also, like the whole like you don't know about the River Styx plan, like the Nico's plan, and is like almost awkwardly hidden until the very last moment, and it's like 8 chapters.
Yeah, 8 chapters to get there, and
So, third favorite.
Last Olympian.
Last Olympian. Why?
Well, because of the same reasons. About the Oracle, and also I feel like it was the better than maybe not. Like I'm still debating my Sea of Monsters choice.
Oh yeah, like if you'd asked me like 3 weeks ago, I probably would have had different answers. And you asked me like in a couple of months, I probably will have different answers.
No, but yeah, I felt as if a lot of it was wasted on things that upon the reread, which we just did, weren't that relevant.
So my third favorite is Sea of Monsters. And I think I forget which one, but one of the Demigodathon hosts was talking about this in their video. I was watching all the Demigodathon videos in the playlist, link in the description. And they were talking about how the characters seem like the best in Sea of Monsters. Like there's so much time devoted to like character building and just character growth in the Sea of Monsters that you don't really get time. Like Percy and Annabeth have a lot of heartfelt conversations. Like Percy learns to grow through Tyson. Tyson learns to grow about his thing about Poseidon, and Annabeth learns to grow.
But then Tyson disappears, and so does Grover.
Annabeth learns to grow. Annabeth learns to grow because...
And she gets a lot less annoying than the first book.
Because she learns about how Tyson is, like, not as bad as also Cyclopes. Like, Clarice learns to, like, be okay with, like, help from Percy and Annabeth. And so I think there's a lot of character, like, development. This is when we first get the introduction of the Great Prophecy. Sort of, it was, like, lightly touched on the Lightning Thief, but it's, like... Here it becomes like it starts building up. Talia sets up the Titan's Curse and her story, and so I think the people say, "Oh, Sea Monsters, that's like filler," but it's not. It's just that setup you need. Like, yeah, it basically just feels like setup that needed to happen for the future books to work out as well as they did, and so that's why I think Sea of Monsters is so great. It just builds the characters and stuff. And that's why I'm kind of sad that it couldn't make it into my top. Sea of Monsters used to be my favorite of them all, but upon rereads, like multiple rereads, it's gone slightly lower on my list, but it's still one of my favorites.
So my number 4 pick is gonna be the Lightning Thief.
You mean your second favorite?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the Lightning Thief.
Oh yeah. My second favorite is gonna be the Lightning Thief. Because it's the first book, and we just get the most Percy humor in it.
Second favorite is Titan's Curse. Grover, Talia, like it's we talked about it a lot in the other episode, but yeah, it's one of the better ones. It's just so much. Only downside it is that
Bianca, they killed her.
I was gonna say
Assassins.
the only downside to it is that Annabeth isn't there enough.
No, nobody cares about Annabeth. I'm joking. All right, listeners, Sam has put some reason into me, and I have seen the error of my ways. Annabeth is a... hurts me to say this. I really need to warm up my throat a little bit, but decent character. I feel as though my sadness and anger for Annabeth was really around the whole My Grand Plan theme song. And I read the book and then saw the play, and I felt as Annabeth was more annoying. But as Samuel pointed out, off podcast, but she really does grow over the course of the series and becomes a pretty good character.
And starts off as a pretty good character. Anyways,
Starts as an okay character.
My favorite, I think, from pretty much deduction, my favorite is Lightning Thief. Your favorite is Titan's Curse.
Yeah.
Mine, because it's the first one, and, it's the best Percy moments, and it's just, the rest of them wouldn't exist without the Lightning Thief, so,
My favorite was the Titan's Curse from deduction as well. But I love the introduction of so many new characters and getting Talia and Percy and Nico a little bit, and also Bianca and Grover. I feel as though we get a lot of characters. As Samuel did point out, we do miss out on Annabeth, but she comes out for at the end for a very meaningful role and a great moment with Percy.
Yeah, so this is officially, I think probably going to be our longest episode. Anyways, that's it for this section.
And that's it for this episode of the Half-Blood Report. Samuel, how can I contact the podcast?
You can tweet at us with compliments, questions, corrections, or suggestions at Half Report. You can also find us on Instagram at The Half-Blood Report, or email us at our website, thehalfbloodreport.com. We also just started a newsletter. You can go that, thehalfbloodreport.com, and then go to the
then the newsletter is going to be packed with recent fandom news,
Half-Blood Report stuff.
Yeah, Half-Blood Report stuff, and you can also get the link to download our free mobile app.
Yeah, all great stuff in the newsletter. Find Diego at Boskone if you live in that area, Boston.
Yeah, I'm excited to meet our fans.
Links in the description. I'm sure many will show up for you, Diego.
Yeah, I'm sure all of Massachusetts will just show up at the panel.
Diego, we love you.
Yeah, they're going to be chanting and their
That was
Boston
my
accents.
best Boston.
That was a terrible Boston accent.
I wasn't even trying. I know, I wasn't even trying.
Diego, we love you.
That's a fake British accent. Could you do Boston? All right, I
want to go park my car.
Okay, but that's not saying Diego, we love you.
Diego, we love ya.
That's back to British.
Okay, well, I'm terrible at this. I hate myself. But it's okay because I wrote our theme music, and that's my major accomplishment in life. On my tombstone, it's gonna say wrote theme music for the Half-Blood Report, and then in little mini writing at the bottom of my tombstone, it'll say you can find us on any you can find us on Spotify, YouTube. It's gonna say a little in even tinier letters at the bottom. It's gonna say thehalfbloodreport.com. And that's how I'm gonna die.
Speaking of your great theme music, let it play. That said, it's time for our credits. Our theme music is actually by Diego.
Really? I didn't know. Samuel does most of our editing, however. And our recording equipment is on loan from William Bachman.
My co-host here is Diego, and I'm Samuel.
This is the Half-Blood Report podcast, the only HBR that matters. Survive till next week.
Bruh, I'm so tired.
Same. How are we even awake?